Today we're starting a new unit, transformations, and we are going to talk about lesson number 1, translations today. So today's I can translate shapes on a coordinate plane using proper notation. So to begin, we have our vocabulary word, translation. So if we say we are going to translate a shape, it is sliding that shape horizontally or vertically. It does not change its size. It does not change which direction it's facing. We are simply sliding that shape around. And to note that, we have a general rule, which we call coordinate notation. So we take a coordinate x, y, and that could be any point. And to show the translation, we are going to move x so many units up or down, and we will move y so many units up or down. Sometimes these will be minus signs depending on if you're going down or left and right and so on. So make sure you're showing that properly. Our first example today wants us to simply list the coordinates of the triangle that we're given. I notice that point A is at -1, 0. B is at 3, 2. And C is at 5, 0. What they want us to do is they want to translate, so slide the image 3 units right. So 3 units right is going to take our triangle and move it that direction. So A has to move 3 units over and it will land here. When we note the new point, the new A, we call it A prime. That is called prime notation. And you have to make sure you put that little apostrophe mark, it's tick mark, or it's called a prime symbol, to show it's the new point. C is going to move 3 to the right, so this is my new C, or C prime. And B has to move 3 to the right, so this is my new B, which we'll call B prime. And then we go ahead and connect my shape. So the new points of my purple triangle, A prime is at 2, 0. B prime is at 6, 2. And C prime is at 8, 0. So in this note down below, we've already talked about it a little bit. The coordinates of our new shape have a prime symbol on them to show prime notation. This means that they are the new shape. So if we're trying to figure out which is the original shape and which is the new shape, our new shape, remember, will have that prime notation on them. Also notice that on our coordinates, when we moved them 3 units right, look at what happened. Right means it's an x value. We're moving on the x-axis. So look at my x's and how they've changed. 3 units to the right, notice how those changed versus how those y's remained constant. Making those observations between the coordinates is just as important as being able to redraw that new image. Here's another example. We're going to go ahead and start with listing our original points. M is at -3, 2. Y is at -3, 3. T is at 0, 0. And Q is at -2, 0. Here we're going to move in 2 different directions. It would like us to go 3 units down, 2 units to the right. So we have to go down 3 and 2 to the right. start with my T. 1, 2, 3 down, 2 right, drop my new point. Remember, the new point has the prime symbol on it. Q, down 3, 2 right, Q prime. M, down 3, 2 right, M prime. And Y, down 3, 2 right, Y prime. When we redraw that image, all we've done is slide the original one. Notice we haven't changed the size or direction. Now, we can go ahead and look at our image to figure out those new points for M, Y, T, and Q prime. But we could also make some observations. I know my X's moved to positive. So on my X's, I'll have to add 2 to each X. My Y's went down 3. Down is subtracting, so it would be down 3. And so if we were going to write a general rule, we could say we took my coordinates x, y, and I changed them by taking my x's and adding 2, and my y's subtracting 3. This is your general rule for this problem. So we can go ahead and find these new coordinates of my prime points by either doing the math, like we see here, or by physically looking at the point on the grid. No matter which way we do this, M is now at -1, -1. Y prime is now at -1, 0. T prime is at 2, -3. And Q prime is at 0, -3. And our final example today has the shape GUQX. So go ahead and let's start by finding our original coordinates. Now that we know our original coordinates, we can go ahead and look at what the rule is asking us to do. They're saying to translate or slide the image 4 units left, 2 units up. So when I think about this, left or back 4 is going to change my x value, and 2 units up is going to change my y value. So if we think about a general rule, we're going to take our coordinate x, y, and to change it to my x's, we're going to go left 4. So going left is subtracting 4. And my y's will move up 2. Up is adding. So here I have my general rule. So to find out where my new points lie, we can either use the rule or we could graph. So let's start with using the rule. X will subtract 4. Y we will add 2. So G prime should end up at the point 0, 2. Let's check. Back 4, or left 4, up 2. G prime is at 0, 2. So left 4, up 2. U prime should end up at -1, -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. U prime. And that I did. And then we're going to continue with the next point. So you can either find your new coordinate by using the rule that we wrote, or you can simply shift where the point is. -2, 0, and x prime, -2, 2. When we connect our points in our new shape, though, nothing should have changed except its location. Notice it's the same shape, same size, same direction. All we've done is slide or translate the image.